Yokoso, Yokoso, Yokoso. Yes, it's Monday night. It must be the Xbox Monday Night Chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome one and all on tonight's show. We've got hot news for sporting fans, just hot off the presses. We'll be talking about that. We've taken a look at the Developers Direct. Have a recap on that. Hi-Fi Rush. It's been doing gangbusters by all accounts. Phil Spencer speaks out about Halo, given the redundancies at the Developer 343. Plus, have Sony been telling Porky Pies? All this and much, much more on tonight's show. Roll the credit. Yes, party people. Good to see you all. I hope you're good. I hope you are well. It is, of course, the one and only Xbox Monday Night Chat, the podcast of podcasts related to Xbox. Of course, let me know what games you've been playing in the chat. Anything you want to discuss about Xbox this week, anything of interest. Have you played Hi-Fi Rush, the stealth drop of the game last week, which by all accounts is getting rave reviews, and we will be coming to that a little bit later. So put that down, and of course, housekeeping out the way, please hit the likes because I like it. YouTube likes it, and it helps people like you, clever, wise, perspicacious people just like you, find amazing content, Xbox-related content that is. Just like this. And if you are new here, arigato gozaimasu, hit the subscribe button, toggle the notification bell. That way you'll know when I go live with content just like this, ladies and gentlemen. Right, let us see who is at the front row, the mosh pit, and all of that, early birds. We've got Sednar in the house there. Hello, everyone. Sednar, good to see you. Liam is in the house. Don't be shy, everybody. You can come and join the chat. Yeah, you don't have to sit on the front row. Just enjoy the show. But say hello. It's nice. Liam's in the house. And Calm's always here because he's ready for a party. Party time indeed. Now, sports fans... joyous, I think. Be joyous, sports fans, especially American sports fans, if I'm brutally honest, and oddly enough, Japanese sports fans. Yes. Just off the press, just announced. Where do I want to go? I want to go news studio. Ladies and gentlemen, the MLB The Show is coming to Games Pass. Let's make sure I've got the sound off because I don't want a copyright strike. So yeah, look, and the weird thing about, look, from PlayStation Studios, and it's coming day and date to Game Pass, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are a big baseball fan, rejoice. MLB The Show 23 there, with Miami Marlins star outfielder, I don't know what I'm talking about, it's baseball. Miami Marlins star outfielder Jazz Chisholm Jr. will grace the cover of MLB The Show 23. Yeah, I can guarantee it's a funky soundtrack playing back here because I listened to it earlier. It's quite good, actually, quite a good trailer. But there we go. So, have access to all your progress and card inventory in MLB The Show 23 on every platform you own with cross-platform. So it's cross-platform. Interesting from PlayStation Studios. Cross-platform, cross-saves and cross-progression launches March the 28th, 2023 and will be available. And this is the interesting thing here, ladies and gentlemen. Will be available day one with Xbox Game Pass. Pre-orders now. Just seeing if there's any kind of extra features for your kind of Xbox Series X or S. Not really by the looks of things there. But the main thing is baseball straight to Xbox Game Pass. But I'm curious. I am curious. Let me know what you think. I'm curious. I mean, obviously PlayStation have the... So it's coming to Games Pass. Nice and clear there. You can see that there. Coming to Games Pass. But made by PlayStation Studios. Just an interesting little observation. So obviously PlayStation have the rights, but they make the game cross-platform, probably because of the rights agreement they have with the baseball, MLB. I don't know. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Baseball is coming straight into... I'm not sure whether the other one... If you are familiar with the show, MLB The Show games, was the previous one a Games Pass game? Or is this a bit of a coup? A bit of a coup for Xbox. Let me know if you are aware of that anyway. So, of course, ladies and gentlemen, last week saw the Developer Direct little show that we talked about would be coming last week on the show, and also to manage expectations. They were very clear about what was in it and what wasn't in it, although there was a surprise shadow drop. Wasn't quite a surprise because somebody did leak it, Spoil Sports, the day before, I think. But as it turns out, the surprise, I guess, was that the game Hi-Fi Rush was not only... Let's go to the recap. Just announced a brand new game, and it's a surprise drop on Xbox Game Pass right now. Plus, all the games this week coming to Xbox Game Pass, including some unexpected surprises. Went to the news too early. We'll come to the news. We're doing the developer recap. Sorry, Clive. We'll come to the news in a minute. So, yeah, the Developer Direct recap 2023. We have Minecraft's Legends, of course. We knew we were going to see that. Forza Motorsport. We were going to see that coming in 2023. A big thank you for everybody who joined me live. We had quite a lot of people actually in the end joining me for the live showcase. Or was that for GeForce Now? I can't remember. But yeah, Hi-Fi Rush was the big drop there. And it's interesting because of its background and its Japanese influence in it. It's doing really well in Japan. And we will come to that a little bit later as well. Redfall, of course, May 2023. A bit of controversy about Atomic Heart as well, which was featured there. I don't know whether I'll touch on it at all, because I'm not sure how much of a controversy it is. But anyway, let me know. Did you watch the Developer Direct? Were you disappointed? Were you... was it as much as you expected? Were you expecting more? But anyway, there were the main games. Elder Scrolls, Minecraft Legends, Redfall. Let's see if I can catch it. So all the dates. There. Right. So we've got Elder Scrolls Necrom coming on June the 20th. Minecraft Legends, April the 18th. Redfall, March. And Forza coming 2023. Presumably this side of the summer. So probably... June, July. We've got an April. We've got a May. No, March. What's the big game in March? March seems like a bit of a hole, a bit of a gap. Let's just see what you lot have been saying about it. Yeah, Crow, good to see you. GeForce Now, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Game Pass, Elder Scrolls Online, Persona 5, Hi-Fi Rush, and High on Life. I've been extremely happy with Game Pass this month. So many great games to play. I thought 007 was a surprise. Of course, GoldenEye was the other thing that dropped onto Game Pass last week. Was a surprise, and I really enjoyed it. I haven't played it yet. Well, obviously I played the original. Haven't played the new one yet. I haven't got around to it. Said I was a bit disappointed. Yes, I think you mentioned it in the live viewings. Right, well, let's go to the news. Anyway, while we're here, let's have a roundup of the news before I dive a bit more into Hi-Fi Rush. Just announced a brand new game, and it's a surprise drop on Xbox Game Pass right now. Plus, all the games this week coming to Xbox Game Pass, including some unexpected surprises and a welcome blast from the past. So, let's check it out. Straight off, and as announced at Xbox Developer Direct, a brand new game from Tango Works, Hi-Fi Rush, is available to play right now in Game Pass on PC, console, and cloud. Hi-Fi Rush is a stylish rhythm game beat-em-up. Feel the beat as wannabe rockstar Chai and his ragtag team fight against an evil megacorp with raucous rhythm combat. This is unlike anything previously released by Tango Gameworks. Hi-Fi Rush is an over-the-top, single-player rhythm action game in which the entire world moves to the beat. Players take on the role of Chai, a free-spirited slacker with rockstar ambitions whose music player is fused in his chest. Chai must defend himself through rhythmic combat, featuring licensed tracks from iconic rock bands including Nine Inch Nails and the Black Keys, with the help of a motley crew of allies. Another surprise announcement is a nostalgic blast from the past, one of my favourite games from way back. Let's just say, we were not expecting you, Mr. Bond. Yeah, it is the legendary GoldenEye. Yeah, that GoldenEye, the N64 classic that changed the game. The timeless stealth shooter has been faithfully recreated for Xbox consoles, with new achievements, 4K resolution, smoother frame rate, and yes, the one thing that made this game truly awesome at the time, 4-player split screen. This is on cloud and console right now. Talking of classics, as mentioned on my previous videos, this week on the 31st sees the release of Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition for cloud and console. Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition is one of the most beloved strategy games ever made, and I know it was popular with strategy fans back in the day, but was only ever on PC. Well, now it is time to enjoy a new way to play this much-loved game on console, including optimizations for playing with the controller and new tutorials to get you in to the fun quickly. Another game that I had not featured in my previous January lineup of games coming to Game Pass and arriving on the 31st of January is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R. Now that's a mouthful. Arriving for cloud, console, and PC. For those not aware of JoJo Bizarre Adventure, it is a well-respected Japanese anime from 2012. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R brings Hirohiko Araki's masterpiece to life in fighting game form. You battle with 50 colourful characters from the world of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, wielding stands, hamon, and more. Don't worry, these are all characters from the series. See how characters who would never meet in the story interact when they come face to face. But you don't need to be familiar with the world of JoJo Bizarre's Adventure. Even newcomers to this fighting game genre can have fun with one-button combos and ultimate moves. As we edge into February, it's time to get your racing wheels on as we see two very different racing games in the form of Grid Legends and Hot Wheels Unleashed Game of the Year Edition. Buckle up for high-octane racing as Grid Legends comes to Xbox Cloud Gaming with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate via EA Play on the 2nd of February. Experience edge-of-your-seat motorsport action, an immersive story mode in Driven to Glory, and stunning racing variety as recurring EA Play events keep the wheel-to-wheel action alive. More arcadey now with Hot Wheels Unleashed Game of the Year Edition, which arrives on cloud, console, and PC on February the 7th. Get ready to drift, boost, jump, and crash on the iconic orange tracks with the most beloved Hot Wheels cars. Hot Wheels Unleashed Game of the Year Edition is coming to Xbox Game Pass on February the 7th. Let's ignite the fun. This is a super fast, slick game, and I've enjoyed playing this when it launched on Stadia, so it's great to be able to play in the cloud on Xbox Game Pass now. And just to round things up, we also have Darkest Dungeon, Inculinati, and RoboQuest arriving on Game Pass in various forms this week, so check those out as well. I hope you found that interesting. I hope you found it useful. It's back to Clive in the studio. Clive, back to you. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is your roundup. To get an Xbox achievement every time. Although you all deserve an Xbox achievement for watching the show, of course. That is your roundup, ladies and gentlemen. We don't know... we still don't know whether it was on X-Pass previously. Okay. Good to see Internet Games. So, yeah, the big thing from the Developers Direct was obviously Hi-Fi Rush, which by all accounts is really well received. Now, I started to play it. I didn't have much time. I was trying to fill in some, and I thought if I'd already been playing it, it would probably have been perfect. But I had to go through all the kind of cutscenes at the beginning, and I didn't have time, so I kind of stopped halfway through the cutscenes because they seemed to go on for ages. I just wanted to dip in. Perhaps it was the wrong thing to start when I only had a few minutes spare. But let's go to the news studio. Look, so this is the Metro, local London paper. Freebie paper, but I just share it because it's not a games paper, but they obviously have a games section. Hi-Fi Rush review, the best Xbox Series X exclusive. Who saw that coming? The biggest surprise of 2023, in fairness, we are only a few weeks into 2023, but is a mixture of Bayonetta and Guitar Hero with the most impressive cel-shaded graphics since Jet Set Radio. When video games are purposefully not sent out for review, it usually only means one thing. They're not very good. And the publisher doesn't want anyone to find out until the last possible moment. Talking to you, Forspoken, apparently. But shadow drops are usually something very different. And for all accounts, as a shadow drop, this is done really well. But, so this is a London paper, just as an example. But check this out. IGN in Japan have rated the game 10 out of 10. Masterpiece. I mean, the game does obviously has some, Japanese DNA in it. Look at that. Hi-Fi Rush. Hi-Fi Rush. 10. 10. That's my Japanese for you, son. Masterpiece. 10 out of 10. So, it's really well received globally, but it's just interesting that it's doing really well. And there's some other, what's the bit about this? I did read somewhere where it's actually doing really well. It's selling loads. In fact, the game is said to be so actually, before I get onto that, so this guy is a freelance journalist, gaming journalist, and he's talking about how I quite like the Hi-Fi Rush surprise release. Lots of agency concern about this. So this is about marketing agents going, well, we'll all be out of a job if you just shadow drop everything, without the build up and all that kind of stuff. But this guy is saying, I do like the idea of lightening the load on indie devs who feel they have to string together a community and a launch strategy on top of making the game. Why not just make the game, drop it? If it's good enough, just drop it. That's what happened at Apex Legends, and it went bonkers. But by all accounts, Hi-Fi Rush is being really well received. And somebody told me it was outselling. Here we are. Hi-Fi Rush has reportedly outsold Forspoken on Steam by a mile. So this is on Steam. The Shadow Drop title has achieved a lot of milestones compared to the AAA entry. Hi-Fi Rush has surpassed... Now, in fairness, it's a 40 quid game, I think. It's not a 70 quid game. That helps. Hi-Fi Rush has surpassed gigantic entries like GTA 5, Witcher 3, and some recently AAA titles. The action rhythm title has towered over Forspoken in the sales on Steam. Tango Games Works entry stands at the 8th spot currently, falling down from its top place 5. Bear in mind, it had no hype. It had no hype. It just dropped. Hi-Fi Rush is a recently released masterpiece that was shadow dropped by Tango Games Work out of nowhere. Bear in mind, it's also on Games Pass. So obviously, Steam, you buy it on PC, but the point is, a lot of sales are going to be on Games Pass. So by all accounts, it's doing really well. Now, as I say, I only started with the cutscenes, and they look amazing, and the beautiful cell shading, very stylistic, and you say it's got the kind of feel and look of that Jet Set Radio as far as I can see. But let me know if you played it. What are your feelings on it? In a way, if anything, I think this is overshadowed GoldenEye being dropped, on Games Pass as well. But who's this person here? Hops. No, okay. But yeah, it's just interesting that it's really well received. I've seen lots of great reviews of it and just anecdotal stuff on Twitter, people saying it's really good and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's great to see. But let me know in the chat, have you played it yet? Is Redfall coming to cloud gaming? I don't know, but I would say yes, because it's a major sort of tent peg game for Xbox. So I would say, I'm sure I did see somewhere that it was. We can double check. But I would be very surprised if it wasn't, Liam, because it's a key thing for, it's from Bethesda. So it's a key thing for Xbox and the Bethesda relationship. So I'd be absolutely shocked if it wasn't in the cloud. The best 4 stars salty. It did capture my attention in the event. Haven't had a chance to play it though. It looks great. We really have reached the age of professional TV anime quality in real time. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It does look really cool. I mean, I really like it. I just want to get on and play it. Oh, look. Rumours. Interesting. Xbox rumour suggests Redfall is in a rough shape. That's a bit unfair. A game can be in really terrible shape before launch. Doesn't mean it's going to be a terrible game. A rumour comes from a source of Resetter, a poster by the name of Horns. Prior to the show, Horns correctly stated Tango's Gameworks would be putting something out. Spoiler alert, yeah. Bethesda, he also says Bethesda wants more time with Starfield, and it will come out in the fall of 23. Now, I did expect Starfield to come out in the first 6 months. But I guess I talked about having to hit a window. There are a limited number of windows for them to hit with their biggest game. Talking of the biggest game, though, we'll come to that in a minute. Yeah, so I'd take any rumours about a game's performance with a pinch of salt until it's launched. Things that are in alpha condition or beta states can be terrible. And that's where the polish is for. So take that with a pinch of salt. You didn't see what I was reading there, never mind. Right, what I wanted to talk about, talking of big games, ladies and gentlemen, talking of big games. We talked briefly about it last week, Halo. Phil Spencer says Halo remains critically important. So this is in light of redundancies being made, people being laid off at Microsoft, and in particular impacting 343 Industries, the maker of Halo. So the question is, and we've discussed it on the show, what does that mean for Halo? But some interesting points came from this interview in IGN that Eurogamer are reporting on. Phil Spencer has reaffirmed the company's commitment to the Halo franchise, insisting the series remains critically important to what Xbox is doing. But this is the interesting thing here. In an interview with IGN, Spencer stressed that the series will always be iconic for Xbox. It's like, as I said, it's like Mickey Mouse to Disney, Mario to Nintendo, Halo to Xbox. That's how big it is. So unless they have another big IP like Starfield or something else. They're pretty, I wouldn't say dependent on it, but it's pretty essential for them. But he's saying Spencer stressed here it will always be iconic for Xbox, despite the missteps that they made as a team. So they recognise that perhaps it didn't live up to expectations. You know, for a launch game of a brand new generation console, you know, it was delayed, so it couldn't launch with a console. And when it came out, yeah, look, it's brilliant. The game is beautifully polished. It looks great, plays great, but as I've said before on this show, doesn't necessarily move the needle in a way that you want your flagship first-party title, you know, to launch your next generation, your current generation console. It lacks a bit of oomph. Yeah, it's very good at what it is, but it just lacks the wow factor, I would say. So maybe this is Phil Spencer sort of accepting. He goes on to say, what we're doing now is we want to make sure the leadership team is set up with the flexibility to build the plan they need to go to build. And Halo will remain critically important to what Xbox is doing. And 343 is critically important to the success of Halo. Hello. In terms of support studios and other things, that's just part of the development and having other partners to help us, which to me suggests they might call in other people to support the work on Halo, like use their teams as part of the rationalization of the workforce. Sometimes in that you sort of say, where's this duplication, where there's overlap, where is there slack? And if we've got a big franchise, can we like say, okay, you lot look after the multiplayer part, yeah, because you're good at that, and you look after, you studio with capacity over there, you look after this bit, yeah, new seasons, new story campaign bits, but all managed by 343 Industries, but outsourcing some of it to other, whether it's capacity in other studios across the Xbox family. I don't know. Is that what he's hinting at? I'm not sure. I have the utmost confidence in the team that's there and leading, and the plan that they have going forward. We know we need to make some commitments. This is what, you know, Halo want to know. People want to know, what are you doing with Halo? What are you doing with Halo? You know, have you just like put it out there? What are you going to do to it? We've seen some updates, you know, and the stuff where you can create your own Halo maps and stuff and games has created some wonderful things. Mostly like Mario Kart things in Halo. So we know we need to make some commitments to people about the content updates and our timing on those and the quality. And we didn't hit our own bar for doing that. So he's being quite brutally honest about it. Spencer wouldn't be led on an update on Halo's infinite long-promised 10-year support plan. 10 years support. 10 years. He's going to let 343 talk about their plans that they have right now. I expect that we'll be continuing to support and grow Halo for as long as the Xbox is a platform for people to play. So I think the timeline goes on and on in line with Xbox. And I want to make sure the team's set up to succeed with that. So there we go. That's Phil Spencer sort of coming out saying, look, you know, Halo, you know, is not over. I'm fully behind it, but he's hardly going to not say, well, I'm not behind it, is he? That's the key thing. You know, he has to sort of show goodwill, doesn't he? You know, front up Halo. It's their key franchise. Until another franchise comes along that they can hang their hat on, they are still very dependent or recognizable or associated with the Halo, and the success or lack of success of Halo reflects on Xbox itself. So there we go. Internet Games as Hi-Fi Rush Tango Games work is part of Bethesda. Yeah, but that part of it, there you go. You get delays That's what I'm worried about, Calm. Yeah. I was worried about playing in the cloud. Should I download it to get the real impact? I was trying to play Metal Hellsinger in the cloud, and I just couldn't get with the rhythm. Rumor is Cyberpunk 2077 version 1.7 is ready to drop now. Okay. Oh yeah, make some space for you on your Xbox. Interesting. Interesting. Right. So that's Halo. Of course, it rolls on and we touch on it every week. Yeah, the whole Activision Bethesda deal. Is it, isn't it? Blah, blah, blah. Interesting articles. So it seems here Microsoft are claiming, and this is quite a big claim to make. Microsoft is claiming that Sony have been briefing people in Brussels, so in the EU, sort of behind the scenes. Microsoft claims Sony is briefing people in Brussels in fresh Call of Duty parody drama. Now, it's very odd, or quite rare, that you've got the Microsoft Chief Communications Officer, Frank X. Shaw. Frank, is his name really Nick? Frank X. Frank X. Shaw claimed on Twitter, Sony has been briefing people in Brussels claiming Microsoft is unwilling to offer them parity for Call of Duty. So basically, Sony have been lobbying the EU, effectively saying, Microsoft won't give us parity. We're not getting parity. And sort of trying to influence the EU's competition and merger markets sort of department. This is the claim Microsoft is making. And he goes on to say here, just to be clear, nothing could be further from the truth, before restating a number of Microsoft's familiar arguments. Those being, they've offered like Call of Duty guaranteed to Sony for 10 years, guaranteed same DLC, content, quality, nothing held back. Because why, as Microsoft has said loads of times, why would they not want Call of Duty on the biggest platform? It sells. I was playing the Call of Duty Warzone 2, and it was saying, oh yeah, upgrade to the Battle Pass or whatever and get all this stuff. And, it starts at like $70 quid. It starts at 70 quid. And it was like, or you can get this version at 80 quid or this version at 100 quid. They sell bucket loads on PlayStation at 70, 80, 100 quid plus all the other coins and all that kind of stuff. Of course, so it's no, I've said it a million times, it's no skin off their nose to commit to 10 years to Sony or something. Anyway, that's what he's saying. He's saying it that basically, liar, liar, pants on fire, as lawyers would say. Liar, liar, pants on fire, Sony been lying. Brussels, of course, is the home of EU regulators, reportedly set to issue Microsoft an antitrust warning over the $70 billion deal. This is the tweet. I hear Sony is briefing people. I hear Sony is briefing people in Brussels, claiming Microsoft is unwilling to offer them parity for Call of Duty if we acquire Activision. Nothing could be further from the truth. We've been clear, he goes on to say. We've offered Sony a 10-year deal to give them parity on timing, content, features, quality, because that could be a, maybe save the quality for the, Xbox Series X. No. Quality, playability, and any other aspect of the game. We've also said we're happy to make this enforceable through contract, regulatory agreements, or other means. They're prepared to put it in writing, he's saying. Sony is the console market leader, and it would defy business logic for us to exclude PlayStation gamers from the Call of Duty ecosystem. That's what I'm saying. At a starting price of $70, 70 quid, starting price for like a Battle Pass pack, whatever. Of course they would. Our goal is to bring Call of Duty and other games, as we did with Minecraft. Not all games, in fairness. Not all games. But yeah, Minecraft, to more people around the world so they can play them where they want and how they want. So there we go. But it's quite interesting that, you know, he felt obliged to come out publicly. There must be some substance to what, you know, to what he's saying about Sony briefing for him to, you know, for Microsoft to sanction their head of communications to come out and go, we think Sony have been telling porky pies. Rhyming slang for our non-UK fans. Yeah, lies, porky pies. Interesting. And it goes on here. And another article, I'm going to go through this one again, but the same thing. In Windows Central, Sony accused of lying to EU regulators about the Microsoft Activision deal. Of which I've just read out they're prepared to do, and CEO Jim Ryan called it inadequate. The 10-year Microsoft offering Sony a 10-year deal with all those caveats. Yeah, all those caveats. Quality, updates, everything. 10 years, in writing, committed. Right, CEO Jim Ryan at Sony said, it's inadequate. Of course he is. So, yeah, they're not mucking about. They're not mucking about. Let's go to the main studio. Because we can get the writing there. Oh, no, look, it's gone. No. There we are. Right. Oh, that's his name. Yeah, Xylophone, is it? Fred Xylophone Shaw. He's a real player. Yay! Geek the Sneak is in the house. Hello, Geek the Sneak. It's going well. Thank you for joining us. Geek the Sneak is in the house. Right. One other thing I want to bring your attention to, ladies and gentlemen. Really odd game here, I noticed. Not for broadcast. Now, this is just I don't think it's coming to Xbox Game Pass, but it was just a curious game. A curiosity. This is award-winning simulation game. So it's announced this week that the well-received PC game, I've not heard of this game. It strikes me as a PC game because it's a simulation. But it's quite interesting. Not for broadcast. It's officially coming to Xbox One, Series X, Series S on March 23rd. Along with the new Live and Spooky DLC. Now, what it is, if you are not aware of this weird game, it's described as an award-winning propaganda simulator in which your job is to edit the national nightly news in real time, with tasks including everything from changing the camera angles and to beeping the swear words. So you're basically running a news broadcast channel. If you like the sound of it, you'll be glad to know that Not for Broadcast has an overwhelmingly positive rating on Steam, based over 7,000 reviews. So it's definitely worth keeping an eye out. And it's described here. Yeah. Change. Public perception. It's got like real cut things in there, real cut scenes. It's a darkly comedic game of televised chaos that lets you pick what you want to see on TV, no matter what anybody else wants. Egotistical celebrities, dishonest politicians, and strange sponsors clash on the airwaves. You're here to ensure that the show goes uninterrupted. Cut between multiple camera feeds, tweak the headlines, bleep the foul language. Oh, with just moments to spare. It's like the film Broadcast or Network. Whether you toe the party line or you stir up scandal is your choice, as long as you can hold the audience's fickle attention. There we are. Not for broadcast. It's a shame. I wish that did come to... wish the game did come to Games Pass. I'd definitely give it a look. definitely check it out. Right, well, there you go. That is your roundup, ladies and gentlemen, of all things Xbox this week. Let me just, I think we've covered everything off there. I'm just double checking. Xbox games with gold were announced as well. I'm not really that bothered about games with gold. I'm more obsessed ever since they have Games Pass. They seem to me to overshadow games with gold, even though I could claim them. I used to claim them all the time before Games Pass existed. But I don't really know. We've got, for the King, Guts and Goals, because they're never really very exciting titles. You get much better titles in Game Pass. For the King, strategy game, features roguelike elements and online co-op. It sees adventurers attempting to restore peace to a kingdom where the king was murdered. And then Guts and Goals. Is that it? 2 games. With subscribers having the option to grab the game from February through to March 15th. Arcade soccer game that even allows players to use bats to score goals. Is there a point of gold now? If you've rolled Xbox Gold into Games Pass Ultimate, I don't know. There must a few people maybe. Do they still have the option just to have gold? I thought they rolled it all into Games Pass Ultimate, or did they roll that back as kind of you have to have Games Pass? But yeah, not particularly inspiring games there, in my opinion. In my opinion, ladies and gentlemen. Right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. So that's your roundup of all things Xbox Monday Night Chat. I hope you found that interesting. I hope you found that useful. As ever, if you're watching this live, then thank you very much. Arigato gozaimasu. If you're not watching this live, then please do comment in the comments, because it still helps the video have a life after the live stuff and stuff. So Tiny Builder, the indie label behind Hello Neighbor, of course they are indeed, and that's creepy enough. Thank you, Internet Games. Now, always with the information and knowledge there, Internet Games, always useful. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening, one and all. As I say, if you haven't hit the likes yet, I see there are 20 people in the house, but only 6 likes. It's not that bad, is it? Hit the likes and all of that. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. And if you are so inclined, please join me on Thursday, where we'll be talking all things GeForce, of course. Till then, enjoy your week. Make sure, if you haven't already, check out Hi-Fi Rush. I certainly will be. Let's rock!